You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Hello and thanks for joining us for this episode of Taiwan Grooves. Today I am once again joined by Max from Project Maximus, who will provide an update on what has happened since he was last a guest on the show half a year ago. Maxwell Lee is a classically trained pianist, violinist, guitarist, singer and composer. He primarily plays catchy pop rock tunes that linger in your mind for days. So stick around to hear about his reconnection with his old producer, the projects he is currently involved in, and his plans for the near future. We'll also conclude the episode by discussing recent performances in southern Taiwan. But before we start, let's enjoy one of his tracks titled Because of You to better understand his music.
Thought about what I said and about what you did instead. I'm just looking for a friend. Can I see you again? Some more would come and go, some more bumps in the road. Nobody thought that this could work, but we're still on the phone. Wasn't sure about this feeling, I was afraid to let it show, till you made me believe in something I've never known. So, whoa, yeah, I'm flying so high, I can't hide it inside. Shouting from rooftops, I love my baby. I can't stop smiling cause I know you love me too. I'm walking on cloud nine, since you said you'd be mine. All of my friends think I'm going crazy. I can't stop smiling, it's all because of you. Thought about what you said and about what I did instead. I've been trying to choose, but I'm so confused by these thoughts running around in my head. Cause I like fancy cars and suits and my Bruno Mars shoes, but you hate all the bling and extravagant things with the children without any food. Is compromise really worth it if we're this far apart? I hope cause you deserve it, you show me from the start. Yeah, I'm flying so high, I can't hide it inside. Shouting from rooftops, I love my baby. I can't stop smiling cause I know you love me too. I'm walking on cloud nine, since you said you'd be mine. All of my friends think I'm going crazy. I can't stop smiling, it's all because of you. One day, I go to this club, and at this club all the ladies are 8s and up. The way their dances got my brain corrupt. I know my frat boy moves won't make the cut, so I step up my game, I gotta raise it up. Put on my super 150s cause I ain't a scrub. Scan the floor and see a girl who looks amazing, but she's all alone, so I walk over to say what's up. Let's dance, she says, as I acquiesce. My moves are not the best, but still she acts impressed. 3 years later, here I am with one last request. I'll shout from the rooftops if my better half says yes. Yeah, I'm flying so high, I can't hide it inside. Shouting from rooftops, I love my baby. I can't stop smiling cause I know you love me too. I'm walking on cloud nine, since you said you'd be mine. All of my friends think I'm going crazy. I can't stop smiling, it's all because of you. It's all because of you. I love my baby and she loves me too.
Oh, welcome, it's Max.
Thank you, Phil.
Say hello, and it's time to catch up. Boke, it's been over 6 months, 7 since you've been here last time.
Yeah.
So it's time to update me and the listeners how you been, what's been going on. And I'll be throwing a couple of questions at you and we'll get the answers. So since we last spoke, so what have you been up to and what made you feel proud and happy recently and why?
Oh, proud and happy. I feel like I'm showing my homework now after you gave me an assignment and then I had a lot of time to do it and now I have to show you.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, we talked right before the summer, so I was heading back to the States in July and August. We were in the US and Canada. It was a time for me to step away from music for a bit, and I kind of spent a lot of time with family. We were visiting a lot of family everywhere. But then when I got back to Jacksonville, Florida, that's my hometown, that's where I lived for a few years when my wife and I first got married. That's where I recorded and produced my first album, 14 years ago.
Wow.
And so I reconnected with my producer there and got a couple days in the studio with him. And so that was my one sort of musical project during the summer break. But yeah, it was awesome. He's grown a lot. I mean, I worked with a few different producers when I was in the U.S., living there way back when. But he was my favorite.
I remember the best energy between.
Yeah. So he's grown a lot. I mean, he's busier than ever, and he's doing a lot of really big and I'd say like well-known adjacent kind of projects. And I scheduled with him like 4 or 5 months in advance, so I was able to squeeze in 2 days. And yeah, it was so much fun to get back to work with him, remembering sort of the ideas and vibe that he brings to the projects. He was able to translate that into the 2 songs that we recorded together. He was able to bring out what I was envisioning, but then even better, I'd say, than what I imagined. So yes, that was what I got out of my trip. I haven't released that music yet. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do it.
All right.
And what that means in today's...
So it's completely new music?
No. So those 2 songs are 2 songs that we have been playing as Project Maximus here in Taipei, but that were not recorded.
Not on Opus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and not studio quality recording. So,
all right.
So, in that sense, I would say it's old music, but just hadn't been recorded yet. Like as I was saying, he really made what I had envisioned. He really turned it into reality, plus added some of his sort of flair to it. So I was very happy with how that came out. And when we were in the studio, I was just thinking to myself, man, this is so much fun. So it'd been a long time since I'd been sort of in that type of environment where like it feels like anything is possible. So like anything that I want to create or I hear in my head can be done. That kind of situation. Yeah.
So nice. Yeah. After such a long time, you know how it is. You look back years and you're like, wow, it's such a different thing than what I would have done now. So did you both still agree after 13 years of collaboration on the direction of the new song? Like, did you revive the old element, or would you go for something like, hey, I've been trying this with the new projects I've been doing, and you were like, yeah, that sounds great, let's do that?
I mean, the working dynamic is sort of like he wants to know what I want, and then he will create it. So it's less...
Good producer.
It's collaborative in the sense that we're bouncing ideas off of each other, but ultimately he's giving me sort of the ultimate control.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, occasionally Josh will comment if I ask him. He'll comment his opinions, but usually he's very positive about whatever the direction is, and he just kind of supports the idea that I have. So yeah, it's not so much collaborative in the sense that we're creating something from nothing together. It's more that I have this vision already, and then he's helping me to develop it. Yeah.
Good. Josh needs to be protected at all costs. All right. You mentioned the 2 songs. We'll get back to them if possible. But first, you mentioned the producer himself has outgrown his past self and is now doing bigger projects. Now, would you feel that there's a particular musical version of Max that you feel you've outgrown since we last talked? Have you played, for example, for the family and sang? Or when there was a piano, did you just sit down and go at it?
Not really. I don't think. I'm a lot better about being willing to just do random things outside my comfort zone, but I still would not want to walk around acting like everybody wants to hear me perform all the time. So it would take a lot still for somebody to convince me, yeah, we really want to hear you, just sit down and play, rather than me taking it upon myself to presume, oh, everyone stop what you're doing and listen to me. That kind of thing. I'm not describing
no, of course.
But yeah, that's just a general vibe. So I think that kind of dictates to some degree how I act around people, friends and family. But yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of supportive friends who do want to hear me, and they'll always ask to hear like whatever recordings I have and stuff. So I share and I play when I'm asked genuinely. But yeah, it's still not like I'll just go whenever there's an instrument and then automatically I'm going to be on that instrument and playing for people.
Right. I mean, there's a thin line difference perhaps between being like, oh, I really need to perform and let everybody know I'm a musician, and between like, oh, hey, I could add something to the atmosphere right now, you know?
Right.
Yeah. All right, nice. So last time we mentioned, for whoever's not been listening before or just joining now, you've been playing with Electric Monk, which I went to see recently. I'm not sure about Hive Mind, if it's still alive, and also, of course, Project Maximus and other guest spots. Has the focus or the center somehow shifted? Like, have you been prioritizing something over the others, or just because of the circumstances?
I'm thinking of these as like kids, and like I have children, and I don't want to prioritize too much. Like I give my children what they need in the moment, right? That's what I try to do. So sometimes I might be paying more attention or giving more to one child over another, but because in that moment, that's what they need.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the same for the music, but I will say Hive Mind hasn't had any movement in a while. Lance and I spoke about it. Wei Chen, the third member of our trio, what had been a trio, the third member, he was not in Taiwan, and then he did come to Taiwan briefly, and he's done some shows with Murder Hornet. But then now he's off to military service. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity for us to really get going. So
still waiting for him.
Yeah. So maybe at some point in the moderate to distant future, we'll reconnect on that. But in the meantime, I'm not trying to push it or sit around and wait for that to happen. I love the stuff that we do, and it really fulfills a certain area of my musicianship that I don't get to do with other things, but I'll just have to wait.
Yeah, Hive Mind is a great project, really. I really hope it continues. Have you thought about... Wait, sorry, just to refresh my memory, you were on piano in that band.
Yeah.
So there's saxophone, piano, vocals.
Yeah, how we performed before was vocals, saxophone, piano, and I would describe specifically my piano playing to be sort of very heavily classical influenced over sort of a darker mood. And so, we were calling it like art rock. And so that specifically is what I'm referring to, like sort of I get to do certain virtuoso piano elements, which is something that I spent 2 decades developing as a classical pianist, but then do it in a really interesting setting. And so that's why specifically I really enjoy that.
Nice.
It's not, I don't think, something I would do in almost any other project.
Right. Because the other bands, it doesn't really like fit there. It could be maybe a couple of songs, but it's not the main.
Yeah.
Have you thought about finding a person while the saxophone is out? Or would you want to keep it a trio for?
So that's what I was saying. We discussed it a little bit, but I don't think I want to push. I just want it to sort of happen naturally, because I think I have enough going on now that I don't need to push for something new to happen that's not currently sort of meant to be, I guess, in a sense. So yeah. With Electric Monk and Project Maximus, it's already occupying quite a bit of my sort of musical energy. And I should also mention that Lili and I performed a couple songs at the last Project Maximus show. She was an opener for us, and she asked me to play one of the songs we wrote together, and then we also did one of her songs. So I do have sort of another thing happening, another tangential line. And with that also, I've started speaking with a few other singers like Lili about co-writing together or having them sing some of my songs. So there's already a lot of sort of different possibilities out there.
You're not wasting time.
Yeah. I love the Hive Mind thing, but I just don't need to push it and force it. We don't need to try to replace Wei Chen, and things like that. We'll let it happen naturally.
Well, with everything going on, you still have time to do that. But great. You mentioned Lili Greenberg. She was also on here.
Yeah.
Very talented singer and artist.
Yeah,
we're very expressive.
we're hoping to record the song that we performed. We've been trying to schedule that for the next 2 weeks, but it may not happen. It's kind of a tight window, so I might have to wait till I come back in February. But yeah, we want to record and then other singers, maybe. I'll mention one person. I don't know if you've heard or seen Izzy M. She's a singer, dancer from Belize who's been studying in Taiwan for several years now, and she performs a lot. She's a great singer, great songwriter. And then we connected, kind of lost touch for over a year, but then I randomly saw her on Instagram, so then I added her, and then she added me back. And so then I asked her if she'd want to collaborate and sing some of my songs. And so I think that will probably happen when I come back in February as well. And if you don't know her, then maybe I should connect you, because she could come.
I'll be very happy.
She could come chat as well. She's a really good songwriter. Yeah. Really
Thank
great,
you.
so.
All right, it's a lot of recording when you come back. It's a lot of things.
A lot of
You
possibilities.
need to find Taiwanese Josh and get it done. All right, you guys had a concert recently with Lili and Mr. Bamboostick or
Yes.
Future's Health.
Yes.
Now, that kind of connects to our previous topic where we talked about venues in Taipei, that you wanted to explore plenty of them, put yourself out there.
Mhm.
You guys even went to the south to perform and have some concerts. Is there any new venue or performance you discovered since then, and something that changed the way you thought about performing in general or your music?
Interesting. I don't know. Maybe as I talk, I'll realize something. But
Perhaps let's start with your performance in the south.
yeah.
Was there anything that went how it was not supposed to, or how it went exactly as you wanted?
Well, we played. Okay, to put it all in context, Mr. Bamboostick asked me to join him to perform a couple shows down south. Not knowing what was going to happen or any of the details, really, I just said, yeah, why not? He's in my band, my Project Maximus band, and then we share a bassist, so there's already sort of quite a bit of overlap in the band, so it makes sense for us to perform together. So I said, sure. And then it ended up growing to be like 4 shows and 4 nights in 4 cities, and it was very sort of last minute thrown together. I think we could do a much better job of organizing this for the future. But for the 4 shows, we played in a restaurant that typically has shows, but not on a Wednesday night, which is when we were there. And so it was a fun show, but it was a small crowd. I don't know, maybe like 10 people who weren't related to the band or the owners. So a small crowd, and the sound wasn't very great at that venue. Our next show was at a bar, open mic situation. Sound was a little better, but it was still very, very cramped, crowded, tiny space, and not an ideal place to perform a show, I would say. But still, it was a lot of fun and played for a lot of new faces and stuff. So, and then we also played in a really nice venue that's sort of a live house kind of situation, like they've got all the setup, but they're not a bar. It's not like a place where you will have a built-in audience of people hanging out. You have to bring your own crowd. And so that situation it's something that, we encounter a lot in Taiwan. They've invested to have a very nice venue, a very, very nice facility, but we didn't know very many people down there. Luckily, though, we formed with a couple local bands. This was in Kaohsiung, and they managed to bring out people, so it wasn't so bad. I think we ended up with like 20 tickets sold, something like that. So there were some people. And then when you factor in the bands and stuff, then it felt like an okay crowd. And it was a nice venue. But this is sort of what you're playing with when you don't have things squared away well in advance.
Right, you don't know if you're supposed to promote it.
Yeah.
There's gonna be people out there.
Yeah. And then that last stop was in Hangchuan, which is sort of the impetus for the whole tour, because this venue down there called Shore Bar, they invited Axel originally, Mr. Bamboostick, to perform. So this was sort of the anchor for the tour. And that show was great. I mean, it was the last stop that we made, and it kind of reminded me of why we want to perform, because they had a nice audience for us. Their sound is superb, both for the audience and for the bands. The monitors are great, so you can really hear what you're doing, and then people can hear you well too.
Right, because in the restaurant, perhaps there's no person who plays around with it. They just put something as a background music.
Yeah,
they don't really care if it's just not too loud, and that's it. But this place, was it more like Revolver or something? Like they had a specific person doing
well,
everything?
the owner was the one who did it, but he knows what he's doing.
Right.
And, he's very passionate about music and bringing bands to Hengchuan. Like, that's his thing. So he's always there. He's always involved. And it sounds great. And like I said, we had a good crowd. The energy was very nice. And so it kind of made me understand, okay, this is what we want to work towards. And I think both of our bands felt that way. Now, I will say, my band, Project Maximus, wasn't really prepared for the tour. Like, I was seeing the whole tour. I already said I told Axel yes, just because why not? But really what I was hoping to get out of the tour was sort of solidify my band. Because, we had never played together. I knew the people who had said yes to be in my band now, this incarnation of it, but we had never gotten together yet until the tour was set, and then we were like, okay, we need to rehearse for the tour. So our first time getting together was 2 weeks before the tour. We had our first rehearsal then, and so the tour did what it was supposed to do, in that it forced us to get together, and then it also brought us together. I think going on that tour, spending 5 days with these guys everywhere, kind of made us quite close, and we found like we enjoy being around each other. We enjoy traveling and doing all this together. So it brought us a little bit closer. It kind of made us a band, and I feel like I can see this is the band, this lineup. And then sort of by the end of the tour, we were also sounding okay. Like, it was like each show was sort of a slight progression in how...
Your rehearsals.
Yeah. And I hate to say it that way, but that's just the honest truth, is that we weren't really prepared for the tour.
Yeah, it's understandable with all these conditions and everything, because we spoke last time how difficult it is to find the members that will be there for, all the time.
Yeah.
So you have to cooperate with many members. You have to see who's available, because everybody's got a couple projects going on. So I'm glad you were fortunate enough to even find someone to go out for 5 days and do it. And then you grow close, and hopefully this band will like solidify and stay for the next 4 months.
I think so. So we after the tour, then sort of a month passed, and we had another show in Taipei. And so we really actually rehearsed a couple of times for that. And I think for that show, we were good. Like, I wouldn't say great, but we were good. And I feel like, okay, this is a good baseline for how things should be. And then we have another show. So it's sort of like one show a month is the rhythm that we're in, and I think it's a good one. So our next show is in a few weeks, and we have a couple rehearsals scheduled before that show. And I think for that show, hopefully, I'll feel like it's very good. And then at that point, I think hopefully we don't lose what we've practiced together, so that we can kind of have that as the baseline of sort of a very good show. For this last show, I brought in a new song. And then for this next show, I'm thinking about bringing in a new song that I've just written. So trying to add a little bit more as well to keep the guys interested. Because I think they've now reached the point where they know the songs well enough. But then maybe they want to keep doing something new. So
yeah, of course.
So bringing in a new song for each show maybe is good for that. So we'll see.
It's nice. Yeah, I believe it's not going to regress. Once you practice, they memorize it, they know it. Only if you don't practice for way too long, then you get kind of rusty. But it's just going to get better for sure.
Yeah. And then we have, we've already set a date for Hengchuan. Next is going to be March 21st. So we're going to go back there. And so that's sort of another thing. I'll be leaving for a month, but then when I come back, we have another thing to lock into. And this time around, based on how things went for the previous tour, we're feeling like instead of touring around Taiwan, we should just focus on one city. And so like we'll be in Hengchuan for that show on the 21st. And so we've also set up a show the night before on the 20th, and then going to work on a third one that same weekend. So,
all in the same area?
Yeah.
Okay, so not like move around, find different places, but one city, more venue. Makes sense.
We'll see how it goes. There's pros and cons to that, but I think ultimately when we did the 4 nights, 4 cities, it was a lot of...
taxing as well.
Yeah, it was a lot of extra cost to moving. And then Taiwan, especially on our level, isn't the kind of place where you can have a great show scheduled 4 nights in a row, because then that means you're looking at Wednesday or you're looking at a Monday or something like that. And it's going to be hard to get a good crowd on those nights. So if we just focus on weekends and just pick one city to be for a weekend, I think we can get people to come out on a weekend.
Right.
But it's harder to do it, in random
Yeah,
weekdays.
especially when you go to like smaller places,
Mhm.
because in Taipei you don't have problem scheduling a whole week of shows. And there's places, but if you go to let's say Kaohsiung, Hengchun, all these still may be okay, but if you go to something besides that, it might be trouble. Like you exceeded all the venues and you have like where else can I go?
Yeah. So that's what we're thinking we're going to try to focus on. It's just weekends. And the other thing is, if you are on a tour, it makes sense to do one night, one city, and kind of travel along
Right.
in America or in Australia,
Yeah.
probably Europe too. But in Taiwan, it's so easy to cover the whole island that we don't need to have these in-between shows to get us from point A to point B to point A. We can just go all the way to point C.
Any day.
In one day, and like do the shows there, and then come all the way back. We
So
don't
true.
need to connect the cities to make it easier to travel. So this is our
Taitung is
strategy.
probably the only exception.
Right. Yeah, that would be a bit harder to get to. Yeah.
And that's all we have for you today. Remember to come back next week where we will continue our discussions about his future plans and the songs Max recorded while he was back in his hometown in Florida. Thanks for tuning in and see you next week.
Just a quiet southern boy trying to stay humble and kind. If nice guys always finish last, I should be coming last every time. Cause my mama, she raised me right. People lie to everybody you meet. And to the ladies, be extra nice. Cause that's just the way it should be. If you believe in chivalry, yes ma'am. What will I do when I find you? Gonna sweep you right off of your feet. When I meet you, try to be cool. Cause you ain't met a guy as sweet as me. I won't forget all those special nights. Our first date, the first time we held hands. Our first kiss under a full moon. The gorgeous dress you wore when we had our first dance. And now remember the little things, your shoe size and your favorite desserts. I've been preparing my